This list has a little bit of tension in it. Zoe is my favorite champion in the game, and Yasuo might be up there with one of the more awkward, less impressive champions in the game. So, Yasuo here depends on stunning and recalling enemies to level up, and then when he's leveled, he gets to strike enemies when you stun or recall them. So, one of the troubles with Yasuo is that generally speaking, to play him, you have to play some cards like, what's a good example of a card? Something like Steel Tempest or Sleepy Trouble Bubble, where these are cards that are like, not cards you would normally see in other Runeterra decks because they're a little bit weaker overall. So one of the problems Yasuo often has is that when you draw these stun cards that are low quality without Yasuo, your average card quality is just very low. So let's go ahead and dive into some games here and see if perhaps the card advantage that Zoe generates really can make up for some of the low card quality things. So here's your thing, Kizix. If you don't think the play is good and you're not suggesting it, why talk about it? So like, obviously I think my play is ideal, and that's why I did it. But I'm frequently wrong, just ask my wife. So if you want to have a discussion about why a potential other play is better, we can do that. But just me, like, I said what I have to say about my play when I make it. So I was prioritizing killing my opponent as opposed to trying to play a long game against a control deck. Those are highlights, Willie. So all of my patch reviews and stuff like that are up on the highlights channel now. And in general, and this is one of the things I think newer players, and honestly, maybe this is a culture thing because other people try to put down newer players so often. Just because you're new at a game doesn't mean you can't have good ideas, and presenting ideas, thinking through ideas and offering them up, even if your ideas don't work out in practice, just the process of thinking critically about the suggestion you're offering will make you a better player. So like, when you want to offer an alternative line to someone making a play, instead of just asking them, why didn't you do this? Instead, try and think about, well, why is that a good idea? And if you can think of a reason why it's a good idea to do this other play, then you can generate a real discussion. The best teachers don't just lecture their students and tell them why the teacher is right. The best teachers expect their students to present ideas and defend them. A back and forth with questions is how you actually get people to learn. Honestly, the warrior here is just interaction kind of sounds good. I think based on the context of our hand here, we're actually just making the super cool star chart cheaper.
Like a fish in water.
That loses overall viewership, Willie. And the way YouTube works, because my other channel has already existed for years, the goal of me starting a second YouTube channel is to try and snowball and get traction on YouTube. And because my existing channel has existed for almost a decade, it'll basically never get recommended highly by the YouTube algorithm. Because it like had its chance and failed, essentially. Also, switching which content is on which channels means that there's this giant backlog archive on the channel that's been there for a while that's different than the content that's now offered, which is bad as well, I think.
Neither the flames nor the depths can claim me, Captain.
This is kind of like a fog here, huh?
Shining gifts from the sky.
I just, like, don't really want to attack into my lifesteal this turn. Look up how Dream became a super popular YouTube. You have everything planned out, essentially. It's very impressive. So, stories like that are what we would refer to as survivorship bias. The truth is there doesn't exist a formula you can follow to become successful on Twitch or YouTube. Like most things in life, being successful on these platforms is a mix of both being good and planning well as getting incredibly lucky.
Carved from the savage code.
Nobody becomes an internet persona with a following without a bunch of very fortunate breaks. And anybody who tells you otherwise is uninformed or probably stupid. Yeah, luck plus skill. Like you can't be bad. You can't be bad at what you do, but you also have to be lucky on top of being good. Just being good isn't enough.
Bilgewater is mine and mine alone.
I think we've died, chat.
Only the strong survive.
Yeah, we're just gonna get super hosed by these. Alright, not looking good for Team Zoe Yasuo.
Chances.
Hi Jeff, I'm a billionaire who is sort of smart, but I got extremely lucky in my privileged life. Read my book about how you two can become a... I always love when people talk about Jeff Bezos and being the American dream, how anybody can make it because he started Amazon out of his garage. It's really funny how many people don't know that Jeff Bezos got a small six-figure loan from his parents early on while his business was failing. It's incredible what a six-figure dollar amount investment will do to most failing businesses. But I'm mulligan the rest of these, looking for some cheaper cards to play out here to start. And one of the reasons I think a lot of people who work hard get so defensive about the idea that they got lucky is I think there's this idea that saying you were lucky to get where you are implies that there was an absence of hard work, and that's just not true, right? Like, I work very hard to make this be my job and try and put on the best possible organizing and stuff like that off stream especially, but like I'm also very aware that like in spite of working hard, I'm also only where I'm at because I caught fortunate breaks.
Don't let the fluffy tails fool you.
Today's actually, it's funny to talk about this today. Today's actually a great example of that. For example, we got over 900 concurrent viewers today because I was lucky and none of the other big Runeterra streamers happened to be streaming to start this morning. So like, I was just doing what I always do and putting in the hard work that I always put in on stream, but I caught a bunch more new followers that I normally wouldn't get because it just so happened that other people that normally stream when I start weren't online when I started. So, if I play Yasuo this turn, I have to take a hit from this, but I think I'm okay with that. I think I just want to get him down.
Death is like the wind, always by my side.
From blood, glory!
Saying you got lucky feels like the invalidation of hard work. I disagree with that. I think that's people being defensive. It's people refusing to acknowledge reality. The idea that being lucky and working hard is mutually exclusive is bullshit. It's just not true. Oh god, there's a monastery of Hinonara in here? How did I miss that? Oh gosh, chat. Chat, I should vet some of these decks better. It's been really busy. There's been a lot of deck submissions lately. I guess this is technically great. No, Jeff, there are two. This is actually really good with Concussive Palm. Rarely catch your streams, but I love the YouTube content. Thank you for dropping off the Prime Slothful Puppy. I'm glad you enjoy the YouTube stuff. Hope you and yours have a good holiday season as well. Well... Yeah, but like, so Pan Andes, for example, the only reason that you were able to find me on YouTube was because I had some notoriety from playing Magic initially, and my notoriety from playing Magic initially was from a few good hot streaks playing in a tournament series. Like, my videos wouldn't appear when you're searching on YouTube like they do if I wasn't fortunate in other areas to start. Denied. We're still not in a great spot. We're going to 4 here against what's likely a Decimate deck, but, you know, we're not dead this turn at least. Monastery alongside Eye of the Dragon is Vision. Visionary. Vision is scary.
Here's our chance.
Did I die? I died. Alright. Yeah, and again, like Andy's, that's the key, right? Like, I'm not saying that I haven't worked hard. I work, you know, 60 to 70 hours a week some weeks, but I also can acknowledge that in spite of me working hard, that's not the only thing that contributes to success. Because I'm not so invested in building this alternate reality to defend my fragile ego to not understand how the world works. I don't think I wanted to edit the deck. I was surprised that the cards were playing, but I don't know that there's edits that I could do to necessarily save it. Yes. There are, yeah, my point is those things are not mutually exclusive. There are almost assuredly hundreds, thousands of really good people making videos on YouTube and Twitch that will never, ever get seen. Because it's just impossible to get started because there's so many people. Hey, good game's best.
We each hold a world within.
For new streamers to get a following. Now that's just not how it works. Whenever people complain about Twitch not doing enough to help new people get discovered, it's not Twitch's fault that people don't get discovered. That's just how people's browsing habits work. It's funny to me, like, any old Twitch user, if they just stop and think about how they browse and use Twitch, like, most people that use Twitch don't scroll past the first 3 people in a channel category. If you're lucky, people are scrolling down, like, 5 or 6 people. But, like, especially when you're in a game category that has hundreds of people streaming, nobody's ever gonna find you at the bottom. People don't look that far.
Death is like the wind, always by my side.
Yeah, exactly. To pick your brain, is Recall that bad of a mechanic? It seems good getting Palm and Solari Priestess back. So, it's not that it's strictly bad, it's just that it's kind of slow and awkward. Yeah, I'm gonna Zoe and get a hit in.
I'm crumbling under what it doesn't understand, silly.
Yeah, it's occasional and it's not typical. It's something you're making a conscious effort to do. I actually think, you know, and this is part of why I was able to get started when I was doing Magic stuff, it's actually somewhat easier to get discovered in card games like Magic or Runeterra than a lot of other types of games, because card games make it easier to play unique things inside of the game, right? Because, like, for card games, for example, there'll be times where you want to see a particular deck played or a particular format. You go in and look for someone who's playing Expeditions, or they're playing Zoe, or they're playing Yasuo, or something along those lines. So maybe you scroll a little bit deeper in the card game category than you would in a normal game category, because you don't mind seeing deeper because you're looking for something in particular. Well, Meteor Shower kills Maokai, so that's nice.
Greet the night.
I mean, I think they just wanted to keep this alive, right? Who's gonna burn a mana here? Yeah, I think they killed my Challenger there because my Challenger going into this represented a stun to kill it with Yasuo.
Protect our grove.
I mean, it deals 2 damage to 2 things with Yasuo, but again, I wanted to prioritize being able to kill their Maokai here, which is why I grabbed the Meteor Shower.
Vessel small, but she ain't lacking courage.
That's a paddling, chat.
Nap time!
Opponent is at how many cards towards deep here? 21. Go ahead and just paddle this one too here. We'll lose the stars, but
What is going on this turn malevolence?
really decent open attacks here.
Not all mean well. What's doing over there?
I'm gonna do this ahead of time. Crescent Strike sounds great in my Yasuo deck.
Get in the portal!
I think I want to go ahead and play super cool start chart this turn, because if we find Moon Sliver, we can Mina on 8, which would be sick. Could give us a chance to kill them. Hey, Slayer of Time, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I really appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. Thanks for supporting my content. None of those are the thing I wanted. So we'll just take another Crescent Strike, huh? Seems fine.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Kyle, thanks for the 2 years of Prime support. Welcome back. They are not quite deep yet. Kind of expect them to go deep with whatever play they make. Does the Obliterate bypass Spell Shield? It does not. Yasuo is 1 away from leveling here. Opponent is now deep. So, I think the play here is this is going to trigger at the start of their turn, and then I'm gonna Mina recall these. They could play something out, and then I can Crescent Strike whatever they play out potentially. A little bit of an audio bug there.
Feet were made for roaming and chicken.
Set him up.
Is there something wrong with my headphones, or did the audio just bug out there? Did y'all hear the audio go weird between left and right channel? Or are my headphones messed up? Audio is good for you. Didn't hear anything. Okay, maybe my headphones are messed up. I did accidentally drag my headset off the table the other day when I tripped on the cord, so maybe I messed it up. Oh, yeah, I should have recalled this first, right? Because then we would have killed these two. This one should have been recalled first. Because then we would have done 2, leveled, done 5, done 5.
Got 3 warnings for you.
Maybe I do have a future.
So I gave them back this one and I didn't have to. Sanctuary is kind of funny with Mina, huh? You can just Mina every turn with it? Just kind of guess. Oh, I can't do this in response. Oh, that's sad. God, why can't you respond to things with this? Would this card be too good if you could respond to things with it? Nopeify doesn't counter skills, chat. It's only fast and slow spells.
Give me the stuff. Stuff makes happy.
One blade, one purpose.
Bad, you bad. Press you wiggle.
Yeah, if I would have ordered my recall in the correct way there. Obviously, they could have a second copy of this, but there's no guarantee that they did.
Shining.
All right, hopefully this can steal it. Now stun their Nexus. Easy peasy.
Ready yourself. The dragon binds us.
So the goal here is I want them to tap under mana for another Devourer of the Depths. So that way I can play this and then have mana up to protect it next turn when we open attacks. I think I gotta just go for it. Sleepy is slow. That card would be super good if it was fast. Could be seeing play in the format in general. Yeah, and this is my mistake coming back to bite me from earlier. So they would have had the second one of these for Mina, but they might not have it now if I had sequenced correctly. It's a pretty big distinctor. All right, so we launched this because I messed up. I'm gonna make a couple of changes to this.
Always believed in second chances.
Let's cut some of the cute cards. Try and play a few more good ones. These Behold the Infinite are just kind of nonsense. Extra Hush seems fine. I want a couple of Mind Splitters at the top end. That card's real good. Rather than Invoke being kind of slow. Yeah, the monasteries were kind of the point of the deck submission, so I try not to cut things that are core to what the person that submitted the deck wanted to do. Mind Splitter along with Sanctuary is actually kind of sweet too. If you get Mind Splitter, Sanctuary, Yasuo set up, you can like have Yasuo kill the things that you're stunning, and then pick it up and put it back down. So, you know, there's a dream to work towards there at least.
Devotion to battle.
Think you're fast? Cute.
Yeah, I think the stuns are enough to interact with the Demacia Monument. Night Stars. Also, Monastery is not quite good enough that I want to pay 6 mana to draw it. So that doesn't seem like a particularly good effect. I mean, if I didn't think I could work with a card idea submission, I just wouldn't accept it, rather than taking someone's money and then telling them their card sucks and I'm not playing it.
Daylight warms the heart and lights
There's plenty of deck submissions going around. I think it's worth trying things at least once. If everybody just quit and didn't even try cards that people thought sucked, nobody would have ever registered Zoe. So, like, you know.
back, heretic. Oh, it's on.
Want to see these moves up close?
Have faith.
Is a leaf's only purpose to fall?
Unyielding light. We will not suffer.
I don't know if I agree with that assessment. The Monastery is really not that fast at leveling up Yasuo. All things considered.
Hope you brought friends.
Oh, it's on.
And here's the tough part, right? Like, they've killed my Yasuo, and now my card that was supposed to be removal just generates tempo. And, like, generating tempo here isn't good, because I don't have anything to capitalize on the tempo I've now generated. I guess maybe this Golden Sister could do something for us. Feels like a tough sell, though.
The light of my sun warms the heavens.
Blood for Noxus. My axe is ready.
All of our points that the Vlad deck earned us this morning have been spewed subsequently, chat. This is why we live in Platinum and occasionally Diamond. We play an okay deck and then we spew. I guess this is technically good, right? We can have a 5/4 with lifesteal every turn for 5 mana. Lannon0, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Good afternoon. Nah, the stun everything card is just god-awful if you don't have Yasuo out. We already have enough cards that are mediocre when you don't have Yasuo out. Oh yeah, I guess that's true. I guess it's technically every other turn with Daybreak.
Think you're fast? Cute.
I think the bad Yasuo decks are Feast or Famine. I think that's why Yasuo Leona is very reasonable. Because Yasuo Leona is a Yasuo deck that's like good when it doesn't have Yasuo out. Wellborn Muse, good afternoon. Thank you for the sub gifties. I think we're just doing this to try and find something else to block with here. This seems valuable down the line. It could help us play this ahead of curve, which would be really good. If they don't open attacks, I get to drop this, which would be nice.
I stand for Noxus!
I go where the road takes me.
We do this now, and then Steel Tempest here.
Welcome to try.
Here's our chance.
Okay, with our game 5 back next turn, we'd actually be in an okay spot. What is my peak sub count? At one point while streaming Magic the Gathering, I peaked slightly above 4,600 concurrent subscribers.
Shining gifts from the sky.
You could actually estimate how many peak subscribers someone has had on their channel at any given point by looking at their emote count. So if you look at someone's emoticon count and you Google how many Twitch emotes do channels get, you get emote slots based on what your subscriber peak was. So like, for example, I have 43 emotes on my channel. So if you look that up, you could know that 43 emotes equates to a 4,600 subscriber peak.
Time for the moneymakers.
That's real good. That is a phenomenal draw. So now I get to Sleepy Trouble Bubble this one to kill it, and then we get to Concussive Palm this one to keep from getting hit by it. I have Steel Tempest too, I suppose, as well, which is great.
I dare you.
Battlestar can maybe clean something up post-combat. When did I start streaming Runeterra? I picked up Runeterra in end of May, early June.
Up close.
No more running.
And then I think we Steel Tempest this, take a hit for 4, and then Battlestar Darius post-combat. Hey, thanks for dropping off the Prime Still Heavy Satchel. I really appreciate that. Welcome back.
Now
I'd encourage you to give Runeterra a try if you haven't. Game's really well done.
Clear my name.
And then yeah, I mean, the Trouble Bubble was good here, right? We get to kill this now. Actually, I'd probably rather kill this one, right? That chat, Trouble Bubble, Battlestar does 4 damage to a stunned enemy unit or something that attacked. Paradigm shift time. This moon silver we picked up earlier could win the game like I talked about here. Turn.
Those are made to be broken. As humans or people.
You should try blinking sometime.
So Jinx is still going to level, draw them cards, and make them rockets, so I do eventually need to deal with her, but she at least can't attack yet. Fingers crossed they can't kill Zoe this turn, and then we get to level her next turn. Yeah, Mind Splinter's just a very good card. If they can't kill her this turn, we get to counter a rocket next turn, which is great.
I stand for Noxus! I gotta work with this joker?
In times of crisis, an aspect descends to herald the reshaping of worlds.
Hey, Gideon, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Good afternoon. Okay, I've been thinking about jumping in. You should check out, if you're interested in getting started in Runeterra, I've got a how to get started video here. It's about 10 minutes. It explains how to find competitive decks, as well as how to maximize your free card earnings early on. Start with this and see what we get. Oh, there are divergent paths in here, but I didn't think there weren't. Someone in chat earlier implied that there weren't divergent paths in here. How do we feel about hushing Jinx to guarantee they can't have a rocket this turn? I think I like it. I could also kill them. Let's star chart and see if we hit an otter. All right, they're dead. Got it.
Portal me something cool.
Portal me something cool.
Okay, what did you do this time?
So Zoe's emblem lets this share elusive. So they're dead. Mind Splinter being instrumental there that game, buying us some time.
That was super fun, and I gotta say,
Oh, Zoe. Her emblem's so good. Yeah, we need some kind of emblem or forever game area zone for things like Zoe and Out of the Way and War Mother's Call. We have three. Are those all three until end of game effects in the game now? There's Zoe, there's War Mother's Call, there's Out of the Way. Are those all three? Yeah, I guess Poro Snacks and Mist Wraith kind of count. Those are things that last for the rest of the game. Wow, way to murder my gal.
Trickster never loses because
Zoe makes the rules.
I fight with my spirit, not my fists.
Depending on what they play here, this is a pretty good play this turn.
For the main event. The strength of the sun and my faith are one.
So Draven still gets to attack here, but this keeps the spiders at home. Maybe this is bad. It's just going to keep the spiders at home already.
Radiant strikes.
Yeah, I was more resource efficient though. Like the resource efficiency aspect of that play is what I was most interested in. That's why I made the play that I did. We're just gonna grab our monastery here. Only played one spell this turn. Now, until my opponent hits a rummage, their hand is kind of mediocre.
Ready yourself.
We're up to 7 mana next turn. The problem is we're getting in range of getting burned out. It might be right to chump block with this. Although it's also possible if I play a couple of spells, this should start generating me life linkers, which is valuable. Could be more valuable in the long term than the 2 to 4 points of life in the short term. What if I actually just do this? That seems fine. Then I get a Dragon Link next turn. Yeah, that seems reasonable. There's that rummage, so I get to turn their crap cards into real cards here, which is scary.
Time for a true display of skill.
Wow, that's rough.
I go where the road takes me.
I'm just gonna let this happen. We'll notify whatever the follow-up is.
Some things never dull.
Let's just make a command for my thoughts on Go Hard. It's a comment that's gonna come up pretty often, I think. Seems like a good idea that will save us some keystrokes down the line. See if they have 2 flocks here or not. They have one spell left in hand. I don't think Go Hard is too good from a power level perspective. I think from a play patterns perspective, it sucks to play against. It also generates a lot of feel bad games. So I'd be fine with getting rid of Go Hard from a this card feels bad to play against. I assume we're dead here at 3 at this point.
They don't know what they're up against.
And the 3, they have 2 points of damage from these, so if this is a spell, we're dead. Any spell will do. I'm not dead yet. Not that we can win. I don't know. I don't really fault Riot on missing on things from a feels perspective. Like in terms of like archetype diversity and deck balance, like Go Hard doesn't feel that much more powerful than the other tiered good decks. It's a lot of it's a couple of Zoes. It's like a couple 212. We played some Zoe decks on stream. I guess Divergent Paths is actually excellent here because they're a Plaza deck, but I'm looking at the rest of these looking for some cheaper cards to start. What champions have I not paired with Zoe yet? There's a bunch of champions I haven't played Zoe with on stream. Goodbye. Equinox is likely good here.
Greet the night.
I don't know. I don't think it's unfair to characterize Go Hard as being kind of unique in how it feels to play against.
I fight with my spirit, not my
I think saying card players always complain while true is kind of a cop out in that instance. I have not played Fiorazori on stream yet. No, Swim's played a bunch of that though. His build seems fine. I'd recommend starting there if you wanna see that combination. Unless something's like especially interesting to me, I try to shy away a little bit from what other people are hammering down. And Fiora is not a particularly interesting champion in my opinion, so I don't feel particularly compelled to play with her.
You were misguided.
This wasn't a build around submission, Caradel. This was a viewer submission that specifically wanted to play Monastery.
Think you're fast? Cute.
We don't really have a lot going on here.
Slow down, will ya?
Read. Honestly, I think I'm sanctuarying this back to my hand. Do you want to get rid of Lucian? I don't know. That seems really slow.
Here's our chance.
We each hold a world within.
That's gonna level Papa Lucian up here.
We're gonna need more coffins.
Yes, people feel very strongly about target speak. Thankfully that card's not very good. Wait, didn't we play 2 spells last turn? Or did we only play 1? I don't know why I thought we played 2. Nazical, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
Want to see these moves up close?
I fight with my
Oh, 1 technically didn't cast, right? That still catches me sometimes.
What is gained when you return malevolence?
Why not swing with the quick attack dude there? Because I'd prefer they don't get to rally this turn. Or if they do want to rally, make them sack Hecarim.
Alright, let's mess some folks up.
I think we're just supposed to do this. It denies them their rally for the turn. Means I can't play Dial-Up Dragon though, which sucks.
Underestimate. I dare you.
The spirit gives to those who listen.
Well, this hopefully means they're not going to open attacks. That if they try and develop, I can Mina them here, which is good. I mean, I think that's the play, right?
Free and lonesome as a summer breeze.
Maybe this is wrong because they have Plaza now, so they're going to have to like play this and Challenger with double attack.
Now who's got the upper hand?
Options feel kind of bad here. They notably don't have enough mana to Lucian and Hecarim at least, so we got that going for us. What does recalling Mina back to hand do, though? My opponent's got plenty of stuff going on. Like, yeah, it's like kind of neat, but it like doesn't actually really do anything, right?
Time to get rowdy.
Then bring back the shark and hook our guys out of the way and get in with the Lucian for 10. Plus a bunch of others. So, this felt like a Yasuo deck. Yeah, this felt like it had all of the kind of hallmark issues that typical Yasuo decks have, where your cards are just kind of individually weak, and when they don't all come together and have good synergies, they just don't really work out as well as you're expecting them to normally. So it felt like a bit of a miss to me. I don't really know that I have strict improvements here to make. I don't think you could really make improvements within the conditions that what these regions are doing together with these champions. I think the only way I've really found Yasuo to be competitive so far is in the Leona Yasuo deck on my site, because like I mentioned before, that deck explicitly gets to avoid playing a bunch of bad stun cards because Leona's just a good card on her own that also happens to stun things. Hey, Blue Shrooms, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. At any rate, I've run extra long the last 2 days, so I'm going to go ahead and call it a day after just 5 hours today. I will be back tonight. I'm going to be playing more of the Final Fantasy VII Remake this evening on the PlayStation. We're working our way through that. And then I'm going to be off tomorrow night, but I am planning to be live for my normal Runeterra segment tomorrow morning on Christmas Eve. I will be off Christmas Day, but I will be live tomorrow. Thanks to all the new follows. Blue Shrooms, welcome to the channel. I appreciate it. If you are new, be sure to check out my YouTube channels as well. I have 2 different channels. One that I post just the best of the best decks. So if you want a quick 20 to 30 minute video every single day of some of the sweetest decks that Runeterra has to offer that feel competitive, there's a deck tech plus some games highlighting them there every day. And then my other channel, youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland, that one archives absolutely everything. So for example, we played 4 decks today, some of which were great, some of which were not so great. If you want to evaluate everything for yourself, check out that one. But if you want concise, easy, hey, what are some of the best, sweetest decks Jeff's been playing, check out my highlights channel there. Hopefully see some of you around tomorrow for some more Runeterra, or tonight for some more Final Fantasy. Stay safe out there. Peace, folks.